people the way I came to Alexander Haas. I was in the university system of Georgia and being interviewed in a couple of other universities, other vice presidencies that seemed intriguing. And I went to Texas for the interview. And when I went in the room, who was there but a senior partner at Alexander Haas, with whom I worked. I worked with the firm and with her. And so it was a surprise, and we had a great chat and a good fun time. But later on, she knew I was looking at another institution, Massachusetts, and she said, before you take a job, come talk to us, kind of thing. I said, sure, I'm glad to. And my wife, my bride, much smarter than I am, she knew I was thinking about doing consulting when I hit 70. And she said, look, old boy, it's better when they come after you at age 50 than when you go to see them a broken down old VP, etc. So I said, yes, it's worked out. I've had a ball. That partner said, look, Shufflebarger, I guess by now you're a one-woman man. And for the most part, because I'd spent 21 years in one institution, you're a one institution founder. So the thing you'll like about this is you get to fall in love with a bunch of places. And I must tell you, it's been a joy to really get to know a number of institutions and be able to love a lot of places and do good things. So it's been very special. I tell people that the thing I like most about this is I believe philanthropy, work we do there, has the lowest jerk quotient in America. We've got just beautiful people who are doing things selflessly out of the goodness of their heart, and they care deeply, and getting to work with them is a joy. Now, I'd be lying if I didn't say we didn't run into an occasional jerk there. No place is free of that. And sometimes a jerk with a lot of resources can be a real jerk. But the quotient, the vast majority, are not like that. The most challenging task we face, I think, is helping an organization which has wonderful aspirations, extraordinary aspirations, because we encourage them to think big. Helping them to understand that at this point, they may not be able to reach the fullness of that dream. At this point, they may have to take the first step toward it. Sometimes that's a crushing disappointment to folks, and helping them to understand Rome wasn't built in a day. Sometimes the best way to reach a $100 million campaign is to raise 25 that morphs into 50 and get you eventually there. But it may take 3 phases, but you're still going to get there. Helping them to understand not to give up hope just because their dream, in their mind, was shattered. We never lose sight of the dream. We don't want them to, but we've got to start where it's realistic and achievable, and success builds on success. Sometimes folks understand it, get it. Other times they're so devastated because their heart was set on this, their life was set on it, and helping them, that's probably the most challenging aspect. I am a reader, so I probably subscribe to 40 or 50 different kinds of things, mostly on the internet. I'm a cover-to-cover reader of the Chronicle of Higher Education and Chronicle of Philanthropy. They are somewhat biblical in our field. But if you're not keeping up with the Center on Philanthropy at Indiana University, you're going to miss out on a lot, because they are the national center. I had the privilege of going there for a big seminar that they hand-selected people for, so they must have been short of something. It was a mountaintop experience, and I've been wedded to the good work they do. But there's enormous resources available on the internet via subscriptions, and I feel as if we don't keep up to date by going out there and getting that stuff in. It's a pain. It's sometimes a month before I'll save that email link with the latest, but I try and force myself to do it, because if we're not on the cutting edge of what's happening and knowledgeable, we're not going to serve our clients well. Frankly, the other way is interactive. I have a good friend with whom I worked at the University of Tennessee, who's now the vice president of the University of Texas. Well, we go back and forth and ask each other questions. He's happy to ask me questions, and I don't mind saying, hey, tell me about this, tell me about that. So listening and asking questions. If you're not inquisitive, you're not going to be on the top of your game or state of the art or cutting edge. So those are, talking and reading are probably. I don't believe philanthropy is going to be different. There'll still be people making a gift out of their love of mankind. What I believe will be significantly different is we'll be smarter about how to do it, to individualize it. We have so many more tools to do that. I mean, if Amazon hadn't taught us about learning, oh, you keep picking these books, well, we might suggest them. That's just one way, but institutions are doing that now. Every time you come to the webpage, you're going to the athletic department. Could it be because you're interested in athletics? Or every time you go to the College of Business? We're learning to do what Amazon taught us to do. It's also generational. Millennials get a bunch of bad knocks. I wrote a piece a while ago extolling the virtues of millennials, because many of the core values of philanthropy were embodied in what they were doing, but it was different from what older folks were doing, so they thought it wasn't too good. I am absolutely awestruck by a young San Francisco couple, neither one of whom has crossed 30 yet, who between them, they're able young professionals, and I think between them make $140,000, $150,000, and they give away half of it. They believe we can get along modestly. We don't have children. We can live on $75 a year. We won't get the fancy apartment. We'll leave and give away half of it, because they believe so deeply in it. So I think we'll get smarter, and the pace of getting smarter, just like everything, is quickening. And so I think even within a narrow timeline, like 2 years, we're going to learn a lot more, and if we're smart, apply. John Thielen, I had two of the leading higher ed faculty members there were a lot of great faculty members there, but two of the leading folks, both have since have gone on to other things. I've been blessed to have a part of a lot of successful campaigns over 24 years. But the two that I think may have left most joy in my heart was the very first one, which was for Hubbard House, Domestic Violence Center in Jacksonville. They were doing their very first campaign. They were a pioneer in America. They were one of the first 10 domestic violence centers in the country. They've done such innovative work, they were the first in the Southeast, that their programs are recognized nationally. And yet they were operating out of horrible facilities. It was a grassroots organization that had done remarkable work. It's amazing. But now they needed to get a first-class facility. They started a campaign, and it didn't work. They just crashed and burned, and they fired their counsel. We were asked to step in. They hired us, and we were able to turn it around and exceed, despite some challenges, exceed their fondest hopes. To be able to go back there and see what we had accomplished was really a delight. But the thing that I didn't appreciate until a little later was the chairman of the campaign, co-chairman of the campaign, was so impressed with our work, he introduced us to several other groups. And as he was introducing us to the second group, he said, now these folks tell you they're fundraising consultants. They're not. Oh my God, what are we if we aren't that? And Bill said, these folks are all about organizational development. When they started working with us at Hubbard House, they said, if we do this campaign right, we will help you transform this organization. Grassroots organization to one that has the opportunity to next up. And he said they did. So I stood up and said, ladies and gentlemen, Bill's absolutely right. We're all about organizational development. And I realized that's part of what we do. It's not just about raising. One of the things that's given me most joy is sailing. And occasionally there's this moment where you feel an extraordinary harmony with the wind, with the water, with the boat, and then with yourself. I had one of those occasions on noonday. My wife went out to go shopping. My best friend had to go back for some work or something, so I just got on the sailboat and headed out in a perfect breeze. I did have a cigar, and I did have an adult beverage in a can as well, and headed out 20 miles on a perfect beam reach, and just never had to tack, and then turned around and came back. It was 5.5 hours of the most blissful time in my life, and I've never forgotten